Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, there was a young, beautiful girl with shiny white skin living in a far country. Her parents named her Jasmine. Unfortunately, her mother died shortly after her birth, so her father got married to a woman who thought she was the prettiest in the world. One day, the wife looked at herself in a magic mirror. The mirror said,
"Madam, you are very beautiful, but Jasmine is much more beautiful than you."
The wife got very angry, called for her servant and told him,
"Take Jasmine to the forest and kill her there."
In the forest, the servant felt sorry for little Jasmine and found himself unable to kill her. So he told her,
"Go, you are free, but don't ever go back to the palace."
Jasmine was so frightened and started to run in the forest, not knowing where to go. She found a nice house where 7 dwarfs lived. She stepped into that house and found a table with dishes full of delicious food. Jasmine was hungry, so she ate some of the food and then went to sleep in the nearest bed she found. The dwarfs came back home after a long day of hard work. They were surprised to see a young, beautiful girl sleeping in one of their beds. Their wandering words woke Jasmine up, and she told all of them her story. The 7 dwarfs felt sorry for her and decided to take her as an honored guest. Jasmine didn't refuse. She was very happy and accepted thankfully. Meanwhile, the mean wife knew from one of her spies that Jasmine was still alive and was living happily with the 7 dwarfs. She disguised herself as an old apple seller and went to the dwarf's house in the forest. The wife saw Jasmine picking some flowers in front of the house. She came closer to her, greeted her, and gave her an apple. Jasmine didn't know that the apple was poisoned. When she took a bite of the apple, she fell down on the ground, unconscious, and the woman disappeared. The 7 dwarfs returned home and found Jasmine on the ground, not moving. They tried hard to wake her up, but without success. They were very sad and started to cry bitterly. They finally decided to build a tomb of glass for Jasmine. They placed the tomb with Jasmine in it, in the middle of the forest, and took turns guarding it every day. One morning, a young nobleman passed by the tomb on his horse. He saw Jasmine, became amazed by her beauty, and fell in love with her. He asked the dwarfs if he could take the glass tomb to his elegant palace. They agreed with him. When the nobleman bent down to put a light kiss on Jasmine's forehead, the bite of poisoned apple came out of her mouth. So she opened her eyes and looked around her and asked, "Where am I?" The 7 dwarfs told her of all that had happened. The young nobleman came closer and asked her if she would accept him as her husband. Jasmine accepted his offer without any hesitation. 1 month later, they got married, and they both lived happily ever after. The 7 dwarfs visited them at every occasion. They were greatly welcomed by Jasmine and her husband, the nobleman.